Well guys, here is a brand new Victoria 2 tutorial, and in today's video I want to explain about crises in the game. Now I mentioned it earlier, and I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it a couple times, but I don't think I went into detail like in my last video about the best great powers for a new player to play. But crises, I love the map right here. Oh, here we go. Crises are random events that could pop up that could turn into war. So basically, you see like right here, I'm playing as Greece too. You see all these blue across the map? These are flashpoints. Flashpoint areas. Those are areas that have like wars that people are contesting over. Like Cuba, for example. This is Spanish Cuba, but Cuba can get independence. And you see like Ireland wanting independence. And you see like Finland wanting independence from Russia. And you see like all of like Eastern Europe wanting independence from Russia, Prussia, Austria, the Ottomans. You see all over the place. There's crisis flashpoint areas all over the place. Now, what happens is I'm going to turn on the national focus to show you all. Here we go. Oh, I did the wrong province again. I keep hitting that wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, right here. So, I just did a special national focus that you can increase tensions in areas that you can control, like Greece. That's why I'm playing Greece. So you see right here, with the national focus, flashpoints would go up about, like 0.03 a day. So then what happens is, as flashpoint goes up, it goes all the way up to 100%, and of course the colors of these maps will change to like yellow, orange. I think orange is like the maximum. So what happens is, as it fills up, it makes it more likely for the crisis to happen until it maxed out at 100%. Now, when it maxed out 100%, that does not mean that the crisis is going to instantly break out. It just makes it more likely to happen. You can literally sit on that 100% for months or years or whatever. And likewise, it also doesn't mean if there are multiple crisis areas at 100% or whatever, that means that what you want is going to happen. So I can have 100% crisis, flashpoint for this core in Greece after Turkey. There could be 100% flashpoints in other parts of the world, and they could have priority over me instead. So what happens is, once a crisis breaks out, immediately all flashpoint across the world instantly goes away. Well, not instantly, it goes away really quickly. It focuses on that one area. So let's say, for example, the crisis is involving Greek cores over Turkey. What happens then is, all the great powers in the world will get a notification on on whether or not to join Greece's side or Turkey's side. Now, if all the great powers ignore it, then nothing happens. Then you have to restart all over again. But if one of the great powers joins the side of one of the powers, then the notification will go around to all the great powers again if they want to join the other side. And then depending on what happens, if, for example, someone supports Greece and no one supports the Ottomans, they could wipe peace out, nothing happens, or the Ottomans could be forced to give Greece their cores in these provinces. Like, literally anything could happen. But if one side, one great power joins each side of the crisis, like one supports Greece, the other one supports the Ottoman Empire, that's when the actual crisis breaks out. And when that happens is, you see this no current crisis thing, this like bomb, this will light up, and then you can't see the page right here because it's grayed out because there's no active crisis, but this will open up, and then you'll have a page where you can read stuff. So what happens is, when a crisis breaks out, all the great powers in the world have the option to join it. Now, of course, if you're on the continent that's happened on, you are required to join it. And if you refuse to join the crisis, you suffer a massive prestige penalty, which is very costly. So you have to get involved pretty much because you do not want to lose all that prestige. Now, you do not need to be involved if you're not on the continent. So, like, if it's a crisis over Greece, America does not have to get involved. They can if they want to, but they're not required to. That's completely their choice. Likewise, a great power does not have to be involved if they're at war at that moment. So if you're a great power in Europe, for example, and the Greece crisis happens and you're at war, you are not involved whatsoever. I don't even think you can get involved even if you want to at the end of the war. So what happens is, when the crisis breaks out, this bomb thing will light up, and it'll show a temperature meter, which is like 100%. And it has about 6 months, 6 months usually to fill up, unless an event pops up that makes it go up quicker or down quicker. But normally it's 6 months. And what happens is, during that 6 months, all the great powers involved have to decide how they're going to handle this crisis. Now, they can wipe peace out and nothing happens. That's possible. But they could also have great powers join in either side of the crisis. And the leaders of the crisis, like, say someone supports Greece, like say the British support Greece, and then Russia decides to support the Ottomans out of nowhere. Now, the British could say, like, go to Prussia or Austria and be like, hey, Prussia or Austria, we'll give you, like, a territory in Russia if you join the war on our side, the crisis. Now, what happens is, if they do that, the British or whoever would offer that desire to the countries, they would take all the infamy for that casus belli right then and there. And that country will join that side for that casus belli, and that's going to be added on to the negotiations too. Now, if no diplomatic solution happens by the time the crisis meter hits 100 temperature, the world goes to war. Everyone involved joins the side and goes to war. And it's a giant world war, basically, a pre-world war, since world wars are not available yet at the time. And they fight until they win. One side wins. So that's pretty much how Crisis is. Sucks I can't show you all, since Crisis are so hard to, like, make pop up. They're, like, pretty much random. Not going to spend an entire game waiting for pop up. But that's basically what happens. You can watch videos on what happens too if you want to see it for yourself. Now, crises are usually something you want to try and avoid, unless you're like Greece, which in that case you want crises to happen, that way you can get all your cores. Or if you're a great power that wants to flex your muscles and see how strong you are against the other great powers, then maybe you want a crisis to happen so you can see how good you are. But that's how crises are in this game. It makes pretty interesting things happen, although it's kind of annoying at the same time when they happen. Oh yeah, another thing too I forgot. If the war breaks out and if you refuse to join any side, or any country avoids to join any side in that conflict, they will lose the prestige that they would have lost if they did not join in the first place. So, once you're called into the crisis, you have to join a side unless you want to not lose the prestige. Alright, so that'll wrap up this tutorial. See you guys next time.